Hello and welcome back to my weekly update on the financial markets. My name is Jens and like always I want to cover today with you the S&P 500 index, US oil, gold and Bitcoin against the US dollar. On a weekly, daily and 4-hour time frame we will discuss the price action of these four assets and I will show you all my trades I have open right now. Let's start directly in with the weekly time frame on the S&P 500 index. Yeah, the weekly on the S&P 500 index, here we can see the weekly uptrend got broken massively to the downside, but then got rejected near the 200 moving average to the upside. I think this is a bear trend rally, so after a massive turn to the downside, what follows is an overreaction to the upside before then turning again back lower. So I'm expecting an A, B, C correction before then the market finally finds a bottom and starts a new uptrend movement, so change from a downtrend to an uptrend again to the upper side. MACD shows that it wants to cross here to the upside, but often these indicators are a little bit later than price. So let's see what price is saying at the daily time frame. Daily you can see that we had a daily white solid downtrend line. That one got broken to the upside. We had lower highs and lower lows, and now we turned into higher highs and higher lows. But I think this is the shorter time frame. In the big picture of the weekly time frame, this is a counter trend move to the upside before then rolling over again. There's still a possibility that we got a V-shaped recovery like we have seen it in the coronavirus pandemic. So that would mean that we will see probably a break above this last high here, a correction and a break of this retest to the upside again, and then we'll continue higher. Then I will get stopped out of my current position where I'm risking 0.5% of my account balance on a short trade. But I think the more likely scenario is that we will turn somewhere near this point and decline lower and probably retest the last low, and then we will see, will we see a double bottom here, continue higher again, or do we see even lower prices, maybe retesting 0.618 retracement on the bigger time frame. You've seen it on the weekly one. And yeah, if we drop one time frame lower to the 4-hour time frame, there's nothing really more to see. Yeah, I'm expecting that price will turn soon again to the lower side, and my trade will go into profit. I will wait and see for a good point to put my trade here risk-free with moving my stop loss to my entry level, and wait and see if we meet my take profit target here. That's it for the S&P 500 index. Let's go to US oil. US oil here at the weekly time frame. I have at the moment no trades open in US oil. We can see that we had a massive monthly downtrend line. That one got broken to the upside, and since then we are in this weekly correction. We could argue that will develop as an A, B, C pattern to the downside. Currently the last major support zone for price was broken to the downside, retest, and now gets broken again. Let's drop down to the daily time frame for more details. Here you can see that the daily white solid downward line is still intact and not broken to the upside. So at the moment you can only expect bearish price action until we see this break to the upside. And even if we see a retest of that or a retest of the weekly downward line, at the moment it looks like, because we have seen this massive break of this weekly support zone to the downside and now turns resistance, that will probably set up there. Well, at this areas is a good point to set up maybe a short trade to the downside and speculate on even lower prices, maybe the $50 or $40 range per barrel, and that would be fitting with a declining stock market overall, less demand, so less dollars per barrel in US oil. That's it for this asset. Let's switch to gold against the US dollar. Yeah, gold here on the weekly time frame. You can see it was a success story the last year. We have seen only higher highs and higher lows following each other, so an intact uptrend. And I think that will continue, but first we have to cool a little bit down. This here looks to me like an extension to the upside and an ending point in the rally short term. So first declining prices, then finding again buyers again, and continue the overall uptrend, because we have seen in the past that if gold finds once the uptrend, it's hard to leave it to the downside. So yeah, I'm happy with long-term investments in gold and also the miners, but short-term, like you can see here, I'm in a shorter trade and we'll show you why at the daily time frame. The daily time frame, you can see the MACD crossed to the downside after reaching an elevated level. Also, we have seen here a red candle with a stick showing out of it, and that's, to me, in combination with the break below the 10-day moving average and leaving this support zone here to the downside. We went into a short position. The short trade got entered a little bit later than I wanted to. It was placed higher, but the market opened a little bit lower. So yeah, I'm currently in a trade with nearly a break even. My stop loss is above this zone here to protect my stop loss, because I expect if we see a counter move higher before then breaking lower, that it will stop in this area here. And my take profit would be above the $3,000 mark, because I think that a psychologically important mark for gold, and maybe buy a step in there again. Also, it's here in support zone with the last low. But I could even imagine that we will see prices declining all the way back down to this daily support, daily uptrend line here, drawn in white. And the most extreme scenario would be that we will retest this support zone in combination with this weekly orange uptrend. But that would be really the bear case for gold, and it wouldn't break the uptrend at all. So no worries for long-term investors here. Wouldn't change any position there. If we drop one time frame lower to the 4-hour time frame, you can see the trade in full detail. I was entering the trade after seeing prices below this range, and the stop loss is above the range, and take profit, like I said, slightly above the $3,000 mark and this last major low here. Could we see higher prices from here and directly all-time highs? Yes, we could, if really strange things happen to the stock market and geopolitical, a lot of uncertainty would get unleashed the next week or the next weeks, more than expected already. And then we could see prices even an all-time high. But I think the more likely way is that we have to reset here because this move up was pretty fast. So we have to let some air out of this. That's it for gold. Short-term bearish, long-term bullish. Let's switch to Bitcoin. Bitcoin also here at the weekly time frame, MACD indicator wants to cross to the upside, which is a positive sign on the bigger view. We are still making higher highs and higher lows, so the overall uptrend is still intact, what speaks for the 4-year theory, and that we are in the last year right now, which is normally the best. And yeah, we can see we broke the 10-week moving average to the upside and are currently retesting this broken uptrend line. If we drop one time frame lower to the daily time frame, you can see that this white solid daily downtrend line got clean broken to the upside in combination with this massive support and resistance zone on the daily, and we are currently above that comfortably. But MACD indicator on the daily wants to cross to the downside, and I think this move is a little bit extended and that we have to get a nice pullback, maybe again to this daily support zone in combination with the 200 moving average before then continuing higher from there. At least that's the most likely scenario in my view. I'm already in a long trade after I've seen this breakout of this downward line and leaving this consolidation zone to the upside. Stop loss currently below the lowest point of this movement. I'm looking to move my stop loss to my entry level and take the risk, the trade risk free if we see a pullback and a break of the pullback to the upside, because then my stop loss is finally protected. And if we drop one time frame lower to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we have a MACD divergence to price. MACD is making lower highs while price is making higher highs. That normally means that we have a small correction in front of the door, and yeah, it could look something like that. And then you could increase, maybe I also increase my position here. I have at the moment 1% of my account balance at risk with this trade. Increase here the position or wait for the break of this downtrend then and increase then the position. That's my plan for Bitcoin. Yeah, if we break directly lower because the stock market is turning down and Bitcoin is correlated to that. In the last weeks, it has a little bit decoupled, but not fully. So let's see what Bitcoin is making out of it. Then I'm going out of the trade, and it's fine for me. and we stay out of the market till we see a clean picture again. I hope you have a good start in the week ahead. Till next time, bye bye.